Why you keep waiting to start your purpose and how to stop overthinking it. What's up, fam? It's your girl, Sherre Webb, the Mindshift Coach, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever noticed how you'll get a clear idea, a vision, a nudge, even confirmation in prayer, and still you don't move? It's like you can feel the weight of your calling. You know you were made for something more, something bigger. You're not confused about having a purpose. You're just not walking in it. In that part, that hesitation is not laziness. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of ambition. It's overthinking. You start asking questions like, what if it's not the right time? What if I mess it up? What if nobody supports me? Or what if I'm just not ready? So what do? You stall. You get on social media and start scrolling. You talk yourself in and out of the same idea 10 times a day. And before you know it, another year has gone by. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. Listen to me closely. Overthinking is just fear in disguise. It's fear dressed up like planning and planning some more. It's fear that sounds spiritual, but it keeps you stuck. So in this video, we're going to break down why you keep waiting to start walking in your purpose. What's really behind the delay? And most importantly, how to stop overthinking and start moving today. So let's get into it. Why you're delaying your purpose. I'm about to go deep into the reasons people stall emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Let's talk about why you keep putting it off. Let's talk about it. Because it's not that you don't want to. It's not that you don't want it. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. And you're definitely not unqualified. Okay? Listen, I remember when I first wanted to start this channel, and that was 6 years ago. But instead of moving, I kept self-sabotaging. And it wasn't because I didn't believe in the vision. It was because I was scared. I was scared. Back then, my self-esteem, it wasn't the greatest. That's the truth. I was terrified of being on camera. I didn't have any experience speaking to people in a motivational or educational way, but deep in my spirit, I knew God was calling me to do this. Still, I talked myself out of it over and over and over again. I told myself I wasn't ready, that I didn't know enough, that maybe I wasn't the one for this. But the truth is, I had to grow into it. I had to do some real work on myself, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And let me be honest, the biggest breakthroughs, they didn't come when I felt confident. They came when I made 3 decisions. One was to start before I felt ready. The second one was to start before I felt qualified. And the third one is the biggest one, and that was to do it scared. It was hard, it was uncomfortable, and yeah, it was embarrassing sometimes. It was. There were moments I felt unsupported, unseen, and unsure, but I kept showing up. Not perfectly, but obediently. And that decision, that shift to move, even in fear, it changed everything. So let's talk about the reason you keep waiting. I believe it is because something inside of you doesn't feel safe to begin. It's it's the exact reason I hesitated initially. You know, let me break this down for you so you can understand more clearly. Here's the number one reason you keep delaying starting walking in your purpose. You don't trust yourself yet. You've had ideas before and talked yourself out of them. You've started and stopped. You've gotten excited, then overthought the whole thing into the ground. So now you hesitate. Not because the purpose isn't real, but because you're scared to disappoint yourself again. I get it. Maybe the people in your life, they doubted you, or they doubt you now. I can relate to that. There are still people in my life that doubt me, and that's okay. Or maybe nobody encouraged you to walk in your gifts when you were young. Or maybe you didn't keep the promises you made to yourself. That's a big one, believe it or not. And now, every time you try to move forward, those memories, they whisper, why bother? You always quit. You're not good enough to pull this off. Does that sound familiar? Does it? Let me ask you a question. What's one time you promised yourself you'd start something, but you didn't? You didn't follow through. How did that affect your confidence? Here's the next reason you keep delaying starting your purpose. You're still healing. You're still healing from what you weren't given growing up. I talked about this in my previous video, healing from what you were never given. If this sounds like you, I encourage you to check that video out. Listen here, y'all. Some of us, we delay our purpose because we were never taught how to believe in ourselves. So maybe you didn't have someone pour into you. Or you didn't grow up seeing people chase dreams or walk by faith. Or maybe you were raised to play it safe. Stay quiet or avoid failure at all costs. So now stepping into your purpose feels like rebellion. Like you're breaking a silent rule you never agreed to, but were conditioned to obey. And because of that, your nervous system, it associates purpose with risk. That was me, not reward. This is why it's so important to become self-aware. There are things that have happened in your life or throughout your life that maybe it may be affecting you in how you're showing up as a showing up as self-sabotaging behaviors. But let me say this clearly. Just because nobody showed you how to walk in your purpose, it doesn't mean you don't have it, okay? It means it's your turn to learn. And I'm here to help you do just that, step by step by step. Let me tell you something that took me a long time to realize, a long time. I didn't grow up around people who spoke life into dreams. I didn't have anyone saying, you've got greatness inside of you, or go for it, you can do this. So for years, I second guessed everything. Even when I had good ideas, I didn't trust them. Even when I felt called, I didn't feel qualified. I was waiting for someone to give me permission, not realizing that God had already given me purpose. And that mindset, it didn't just disappear. It followed me into adulthood, into opportunities I turned down. It followed me into rooms I shrank in, into dreams I delayed, because nobody taught me how to believe in me. But the moment I became aware of that wound, that gap, everything started to shift. I realized just because I didn't have it growing up, it doesn't mean I can't build it now. And that was the beginning of my healing. Not just like healing for me, but it was healing that allowed me to help others believe in themselves too. That was the biggest blessing of it all. So here's the third reason you keep delaying beginning to walk in your purpose. You're trying to be ready before you start. Listen, nobody, and I mean nobody, ever feels fully ready to step into their calling. Nobody. The enemy, it will always try to get you to wait for the perfect moment. But guess what? That moment doesn't exist. It does not exist. You don't need a full plan. You don't need a website. You don't need 10,000 people following you, or even a sign from God if he's already told you to move. You know what I'm saying? You just need the willingness to take one obedient step at a time. That's walking by faith. Starting, it doesn't require perfection. It requires movement. That's it. So now that we have uncovered the reason why, what's behind the waiting, let's talk about how to break the habit of overthinking so that you can finally start walking in your calling. Tools to stop overthinking and start moving. All right, now let's shift from what's keeping you stuck to how to get unstuck, like for real, because knowing why you hesitate is one thing. That's one thing. But knowing what to do about it is where the change happens. That's where it begins. All right. So here are 7 tools I'm going to give you that will help you to stop overthinking and start walking in your purpose. All right. Even if you're scared, unsure, or still healing. All right. So here's the first tool. Use obedience as the new metric. Like, stop waiting to feel confident. Stop waiting to feel qualified. Instead, start asking, did God put this on my heart? If yes, then your job is obedience, not perfection. Okay? Obedience is your new success metric. Knowing this and using this tool, it will help you. It'll give you a boost of confidence and will shift your focus from overthinking into taking action. All right? So the second tool, do a 15-minute faith move every day. Every day. Every big purpose starts with a small movement. The Bible says, do not despise small beginnings. So write for 15 minutes, record a voice note, or research publishing. Pray out loud for clarity. Create a content idea. See, this trains your brain to move forward in bite-sized chunks. And it breaks the cycle of overthinking. It's pretty amazing how this works, and it will work for you. But only if you put it into practice, because guess what? Progress, it calms your fears. Here's the third tool. Declare what's true out loud. Fear and doubt live in silence. So the more you stay quiet, the louder they get. So instead, speak life. Say, I have what I need to begin. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. Starting scared is better than never starting. Say that. Say it until your mind starts to believe it, because it won't feel like it initially. Here's the fourth tool. Create a safe, focused environment that you can hear God or own your creativity, through the chaos. Make room and turn off the distractions, light a candle, play worship music, or just get still and get silent. Create an atmosphere where clarity can find you again. Here's the 5th tool. Break the cycle with a body move. Overthinking is mental. It's mental, but you can interrupt it with physical action. Walk, stretch, shake it off. Shake it off. Clap, and say, enough is enough. Get out of your head by moving your body. Reset the pattern on purpose. Reset it on purpose. Okay? Tool number 6 is this. Time box your overthinking. Like, what I mean by that is give yourself a limit. For example, like set a timer and say, I will allow myself 10 minutes to think this through, then take action. Overthinking is a habit, and habits can be trained. So set boundaries around your brain time. I do this all day, every day. Here's the 7th tool. I want you to bookend every week with alignment. What I mean by that is start and end your week with these 3 questions, okay? What's one step I can take towards my purpose this week? Okay? What lie did I believe that kept me from moving forward? Okay? Here's the 3rd question. What truth do I need to walk in now? All right? Listen, purpose, it is a journey. It's not like a launch day. It requires regular alignment, not just big movements. You understand what I'm saying? So start with what you know. Move with what you have. Trust God to meet you in the gaps. So you got the 7 tools. None of them require you to be perfect. Just present, just honest and willing. And that's where purpose begins. All right? How to stay consistent and avoid slipping back into overthinking. Okay, fam. So now you've got clarity, right? You understand why you've been stuck, and you've got the tools that will help you move forward. But here's the next big challenge. How do you stay consistent when your mind wants to pull you back into fear, doubt, or distractions? This is a big one. So let's talk about it. Understand that purpose isn't a one-time push. It's a lifestyle shift. I live and walk in purpose. This ain't a 30-day challenge or a new year, a new me hype post. Walking in your purpose is a mindset. It's a decision, a rhythm, so to say. It's you choosing over and over to align with the truth of who you are, even when life is chaotic, lonely, or unclear. So when things start to feel shaky, don't panic. Remind yourself, I'm building a new lifestyle, not chasing a quick win. All right? Here's the 2nd one. Track movement, not perfection. This was a big one for me. It still is. Write this down. I honor my forward motion, even if it's small. Stop measuring success by how far you think you should be. This is a big one for me. Instead, track this. Did I show up today? I show up every day. Did I move with intention? I live with intention. Did I say no to fear? That is purpose. That's purpose, and that is progress. The 3rd one is watch out for the sneaky return of overthinking, because it will try to come back. It will. It'll sound like, maybe this isn't working. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer. Who am I to be doing this? That's how it sounds. Recognize that voice. Then challenge it. Challenge it. Instead, ask, is this thought coming from fear or faith? Would the healed, aligned version of me say this? It wouldn't. It wouldn't. So if not, release it. The fourth way is build in weekly purpose check-ins. So set a specific time like Sunday night or Monday morning to ask yourself, what did I do this week that honored my purpose? Where did I stall out and why? Check in with yourself. What's one aligned step that I can commit to this week? Because you don't need to do everything. You don't. You just need to stay aware and choose forward movement. Number 5, don't just pray for clarity. Pray for courage. Pray for courage, okay? We always say, Lord, show me what to do, But what if he's already shown you? And now he's waiting on you to move. So start praying like this instead. God, give me the strength to obey you even when I don't feel ready. Give me the courage to trust the version of me you created, not the version fear tries to shrink. That kind of prayer changes things. So yes, fear might come, it might try to come back. It will. Don't, doubt might tap on your shoulder. But every time it does, remind yourself of this. I don't serve fear. I serve purpose. And I'm walking in it, one faithful step at a time. Okay? Woo! Listen, if you're still here with me, I already know something inside of you is shifting. You're not just watching this video. No. You're watching your next level trying to break through. And I know what it feels like to want to move, to want to do what you were created for. Ooh, I know that feeling. But still feel like something's holding you back. Let me remind you of this, if I can get my words out. Your purpose, it was never about being perfect. It's about being willing to try, willing to learn, willing to trust that the version of you God sees is already enough to begin, just to begin. If you're tired of starting and stopping, if you're ready to actually launch your purpose and you need real steps, not just motivation, then book a spot in my self-publishing strategy call. And, I'll give you a plan. The cost is just $147. But this is what you'll get. 60 to 75 minutes of one-on-one session with me. A custom step-by-step plan for writing, finishing, and publishing your book. And I do the editing, ghostwriting, whatever help you need. You will receive honest guidance, aligned coaching, and answers to what's been holding you back. No fluff, just clarity, action, and alignment, okay? So whether you're just starting or you've been stuck for years, this call will meet you exactly where you are right now. So click the link in the description below to book your spot with me, okay? Type the word book in the comments if you have questions, and I will answer any questions. I'll give you a way to reach out to me. Let's finally get your book and your purpose out of your head and into the world, okay? Because here's the thing, the longer you wait, the louder fear gets. It gets real loud. But the moment you move, that's when momentum and purpose, they align. Okay? If this video blessed you, encouraged you, or challenged you, drop a comment below and let me know what hit home for you the most. Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's stuck and, But they're ready to walk in their purpose, but they're stuck right now, you know? And as always, listen, you're not crazy. You're just being called higher. Okay? Let's shift your mindset so your purpose can follow. I'll see you next time, fam. I'll see you next time, and I want you to have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me today.